Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. Today we have a cozy video for you. Kind of like a bonus video because I usually only post once a week, but this is going up on a Tuesday because I've got to get rid of these books. I have just been feeling like I need to do a full book audit. So that is what we're doing today. I'm going to be going through all of my books and we're gonna do a massive book unhaul. I'm going to be ruthless and I'm going to basically just get rid of all of the books that have been on my TBR for mostly all of the books that have been on my TBR for like over a couple years. And I think what I've just started to realize a little bit more recently is by utilizing my library more, I have more freedom to only hold on to the books that I feel like I really want to have forever and books that I want to revisit eventually and reread. We currently only live in a 1-bedroom apartment, so I don't really have a whole lot of room to just, or like a whole lot of space to just hold on to a bunch of books. I have a lot of books on here that I don't foresee myself getting to in the next 12 months. And so that's my goal, is to get rid of these books that I don't think I'm going to be reading in the next 12 months, books that I don't think I'm going to read again and I have read, and books that like I've read and were just okay. I already kind of like went through a lot of them because I just needed to do it for my mental health. And so I have a giant bag here full of books that are getting ready to either be donated, bring to like half-price books and sell them, or like there's a couple of special editions in here that I'll list on my Pango or something like that. So get cozy. We are going to talk about all the books. I'll just briefly talk about each one as we go through. So I'm just gonna pick from the top of the pile here. The first one that I have in here is The Honey Witch. I think this book is absolutely beautiful. I think it's stunning, but I just have not heard a whole lot of great things about this book. And it has been described to me as like a cozy fantasy romance. And I don't read a whole lot of cozy fantasy romance. I'm just not usually in that mood, and I just feel like a lot of the times it's kind of slow and it's just really rare for me to read one and really enjoy it. It's like maybe once a year I'll pick one up and really like it. But honestly, I bought it when it first came out because it's beautiful and I am just attracted to a pretty book. Okay, like what can I say? So yeah, so that's why I have it. I think it is beautiful, and I think that if I ever get the urge to read this book, I can just get it from my library. I don't need to have a book that's going to be sitting on my shelves for, I can guarantee you, another couple years before I actually get to it. I just don't need that. So I'm going to either sell this on Pango or bring this to Half Price Books, and I will be sad to see it go because it's beautiful, but I just don't need it. The next one that I have is Apprentice to the Villain. To be honest, the reason I'm getting rid of this book is not because I don't think I'm going to like it. It's because I hate these sprayed edges so much. Like they're just not cute. And I don't want to have a book on my shelf that I think is ugly. And I hate saying that, but that's just my opinion. And I really, 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 really loved the first one, Assistant to the Villain. I read that last Christmas, I think, which is so random, but I just loved it. I had such a fun time. It was super goofy, and that was a cozy book that I read and really enjoyed. And it's just like funny and like kind of chaotic, and I'm excited to read this one, but I just don't want to have an ugly book on my shelf that I don't like. I don't think that I'm going to want to pick it up because I don't think it looks pretty. Like, I'm not drawn to it. And so I think I'm just gonna get rid of this one, and I'm going to get it from my library whenever that's the case. Or if I see an edition that's doesn't have those like really awful sprayed edges, then I'll pick that one up. Okay. This one I thrifted, so I feel less bad getting rid of it. I have not read this yet, and I do think that I would like it, but I just don't think I'm gonna want to read it anytime soon, to be honest. I just already have like in the back of my mind, I have a list of lit fics that I want to get to, and I don't read them that often, so it takes me a while to get through that list. And so I just don't think that I would get to this anytime soon, and I don't need to have a copy of it. I bought it for like $2 at the thrift store. I think I'm just going to sell this or donate this, and then when I do want to read it, I'll just get it from my library. And I just don't need it on my shelf. This one, I feel kind of bad about this one, but I don't, because I'm just gonna bring it back to that free little library that we found it at. If you watched my free little library vlog, you can see when I picked this up from that. And I was really excited when I found it because I have been wanting to read this book. It's kind of on that list that we just talked about, my lit fic list. But this book is massive and I don't think I'm going to get to it anytime soon. So what I think I'm gonna do is just bring it back to that free little library. I'm maybe toying around with the idea of doing another video like that where I can donate some of these. And so I'm gonna bring this back there, put it back where I found it, just like let somebody else pick it up who's ready to read it now. And when I do feel ready to get to it, I'll get it from my library. There's no hard feelings on that. Yeah, I mean, that's really like the only reason why I'm getting rid of this one. None of these, like, I feel like I have really anything negative to say about them. I just don't think I'm gonna get to them anytime soon. And I don't, like I said a million times, I don't want to hold on to books that I don't think I'm gonna get into anytime soon. It stresses me out. It makes me more stressed out, makes me more anxious, and we just don't need any of that right now. So we're getting rid of it. We've got a lot of lit fics in here, don't we? Okay, so this one, Lessons in Chemistry, I found this at the thrift store also, which I think is super cool. I don't know if it's even been read. Actually, definitely hasn't been read. These pages are like stiff as a board. This one, I know that I can get from the library, so I'm gonna get rid of it. I have not read it, and to be honest, like, I do want to read it because I'm a woman in STEM. I want to read about women in STEM who are like badass and cool, and I've heard this is really good. It's gonna be turned into like a Netflix movie or a show or something like that, I think. And I know that a lot of people like it, but I don't think I'm gonna read it anytime soon, so I'm gonna get rid of it. And I'm just gonna get it from my library when I'm ready. All right, here's a non-lit fic. This one I read recently this summer. I really enjoyed it. This is a hockey romance within the Elsie Silver Chestnut Springs series, and I did really like this book. It was definitely a fun time, but I got rid of the rest of the series. Like, this was the only copy that I have, and I was really only holding on to it because it was one of my favorites out of the whole series, but I don't need it. And I'm not gonna read it again. And I prefer to keep hardbacks versus paperbacks anyways. So I'm just gonna get rid of it. I don't have any like special feelings or special connections to it. Yeah, there's just really honestly no reason for me to have it when I could make room for a book that I really, really enjoy. Okay, this one is actually a book that I got in Wilmington from a little secondhand bookstore. It's an old edition of The Age of Innocence, and I actually went through here and I read a few lines of this, and I don't know if I'm gonna like it, to be honest. I just don't. And that is the only reason why I was holding on to it, is for the once off chance that I have a feeling that I want to read it. And I thought I would like it, but I just read a couple of the quotes and a couple of the lines and like a little bit of that. I just don't think I'm gonna be ever in the mood. So I'm gonna get rid of it. I don't need it. Okay. Dang, I forgot that Hachi scratched this one actually. Heavenly Bodies by Imani Iriu. This book was so disappointing, and I say that from my own opinion. I was looking forward to reading this book for a long time. I had ordered the special edition from the UK, and so I was waiting to read it for this to come in, and I read the first 150 pages and I did not like it, like at all. It was just, I don't know, I just didn't like it. I thought that it was a bit cheesy, insta-lovey, even though they were supposed to be enemies, but they were still like flirting. I don't know, it was just weird vibes. I just don't think it was done very well, the whole enemies to lovers thing. And so I had to put it down. I just couldn't stand it anymore to read it. So I'm going to maybe sell this, or maybe I'll just bring it to Half Price Books, because you probably can't tell, but like Hachi scratched it. So there's like a giant scratch marks in it. All right, so this one I actually, gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna keep it or get rid of it, but this is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I have been keeping this because it's the pink edition, and I don't know what it is about this cover, but I love it so much. Like the pink and the green and everything about it I just love, but I didn't like the book very much. I liked the book. It was okay, but it just was a little too much for me. I actually have the other one. Hang on. I also have the Barnes & Noble edition of Reckless, which I also think is really pretty, but I did not like this book at all. This one was okay. So I'm definitely getting rid of Reckless. The only reason I've been holding on to Powerless is just because of the first one. It was okay, but that's the thing, is like I rated this like 3 stars, I think, and I just don't want to keep books on my shelf that I just thought were okay and I'm never gonna read again. So I don't know, should we keep them? No, we're gonna get rid of them. Those I'm probably gonna sell on Pango just because they're the Barnes & Noble edition. I don't even know if they're like worth anything, but I guess we'll find out. This one is a Fitzcarraldo edition that has animal cruelty in it that I did not know about. So I'm getting rid of it. I don't want this on my shelf. Ew. This was actually a really cute book. This is Most Ardently by Gabe Cole Novoa. This is a Pride and Prejudice retelling, or like it says Pride and Prejudice remix. This artwork is gorgeous. So gorgeous. Even just like this is really pretty. So this is actually a Pride and Prejudice retelling that essentially is a trans retelling. And I think that, yeah, so on the back it says more from remixed classics. So I guess they take classics and they remix them in some type of like LGBTQA plus like version of it. It was a good book. It was really fun. It was interesting to see that point of view and see like a remix of Pride and Prejudice, which is like one of my favorite classics so far. Yeah, it was just fun, but I just don't think I'm ever gonna reread it again. And I think that somebody else out there could benefit from this. So I'm gonna get rid of it. We're gonna get rid of The Housemaid. I just recently read this in my free little library video, and I don't reread thrillers, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. I don't need it anymore. Maybe I'll bring this back to the same free little library like we were talking about with the other one and do that again. We'll see. I have all these little ideas in my brain, but not all the time in the world to do it. I'm gonna get rid of Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I read this book, I enjoyed it, I had a good time, but I don't think that I'm ever gonna reread it, and I'm not gonna reread the second book. I just haven't heard good things about it. It doesn't make me want to pick it up, so I just don't need it. And I think I could just bring this to Half Price Books, get a couple dollars for it, and then she's got his llama. Hey, can you wait? His face right now is so funny. He's like, the audacity. So yeah, I'm just gonna bring this to Half Price Books, get a couple dollars for it, and then buy a book that I think I'm gonna really enjoy. We got a couple more in the bag, and then we'll go through my shelves one more time together and pick some more out. I'm gonna get rid of Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli. I don't really know how I feel about the series anymore after reading this. I had such high hopes for this book specifically because I really enjoyed Heartless Hunter, which I'm going back and forth whether or not I'm gonna keep the copy of Heartless Hunter or not. I don't love the US cover, which is the cover that I have. I don't know, something about it just like, I want to like it, but I don't like it, if that makes any sense. But I read this book in literally one sitting. I sat down in my bed at night at one time. I don't even know how long this is. Almost 400 pages. And I binged this whole book in one sitting. Like, I really liked this. But since I was super excited to see where the story was gonna go in this book, and this book kind of just let me down a little bit. Kind of got the same feelings as I did with the Powerless trilogy, where the first book was like good and the second book was just like, you know, not very good. This one just took a little while for me to like feel invested in it. And the one standout about this book for me was the found family aspect of it. I don't know why that like one thing stuck in my mind even now, like thinking back, but I did really like that part. And I remember like the last 50 pages of it, I was like, dang, I love this part. I wish I felt this way during the whole book, but I just didn't. And I don't really remember like why I was feeling that way. I just think I was kind of bored, and there's like a lot of repetition and stuff in the beginning. I think I'm going to keep Heartless Hunter for now at least, because I'm not sure, and then I'll get rid of Rebel Witch just because I know I'm not gonna reread it. There's no reason for me to have it. This one was actually kind of fun because I found this at Barnes & Noble like a week before it was supposed to be released, and so I will like remember that. We got one more in the bag, which I'm so sad actually to have to get rid of this one. Our Infinite Fates by Laura Steven. This is a YA romantasy that basically involves like a time traveling romance sort of, but the twist is the lovers are destined to kill each other in every life. So they basically kill each other off and then get reincarnated and then find each other again and then have to kill each other, and then it goes on, just keeps going on and on and on. And I think that's why I didn't like it. The same thing happened over and over and over again, and there was some interesting like mysterious background that you kind of like were unraveling during the book, but it just wasn't enough to like make me fall in love with it like everybody else I feel like loved it. But oh my gosh guys, like this edition is so gorgeous, and even the like front of it like has this really pretty quote on it. And I had actually bought this book on a road trip to California in Big Sur. We flew into SoCal and to Irvine where we used to live, and then drove up to San Francisco from there, and I bought this for that road trip. So there's definitely like some sentimental value for me keeping this, and it is really pretty. So this one I'm also on the fence about. I don't think I'm gonna reread it. I'll probably just sell that one on Pango also. And I have another couple books on here that I don't know if I'm going to read or not. And let me just show you. Okay, so we'll talk about these. So this one, I want to keep this one because I bought this from the Barnes & Noble hardback sale. And I bought it for a reason. It's because it definitely seems a little mysterious. It says, no matter what happens, I'll be here and you can always come home. Enter the world of homecoming and discover why Kate Morton's novels have been called the perfect page turner for a chilly night. Deliciously compelling, skillful, suspenseful, surprising, sweeping saga that begins with a shocking crime that effects of which echo across continents and generations, which sounds really cool. Like I love stories that are across decades or across centuries. I just love that. But this book is long, and I don't usually like reading long literary fiction books. I usually just can't stick with it unless it's really, really good. And I just don't know if I'm going to be drawn towards this anytime soon. So I might just get rid of it, get it from the library if I ever feel like I want to read it. So yeah, and it is really pretty. That's another reason why I was drawn to it, is because I really, really love that cover. This one, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I actually have her other book, The Starless Sea, which I know that I really want to read that. And I would read The Starless Sea before reading The Night Circus. And I already don't think I'm gonna get to The Starless Sea like very soon. So there's really no reason for me to keep this. And I think what I would do is, if I read The Starless Sea, her writing is for me and I really enjoy it, I'll get this from the library. But I've also heard, my friend has read this already and she said that it was just okay. I don't want to have a book on my shelf that I think is just gonna be okay. So that's why I'm gonna get rid of it. This one, I don't know if I'm gonna keep this or not. I might actually keep it because it's a short little book. It's 320 pages, but it's like a cozy fantasy that's supposed to be funny and like kind of comedic. And those kinds of books I don't reach for a lot, but when I do, I have a good time. So, and I already have a couple on my shelves that are in the same like category. So I don't know if I'm gonna get to this anytime soon. I might keep it just because it's small, it's cute. And I did read a couple lines in this yesterday and it definitely caught my attention, like the writing style and stuff. So maybe I will keep this one. This is gonna be like on the fence. And then this one I will be getting rid of. This is called Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews. I read this earlier this year and I actually really liked this book. This cover was just really haunting, even the back. Like, ugh, I'd seen this just like pop up on my Amazon recommended books list or something, and I saw it and it just looked really cool. The premise of it was just like really interesting. This is cool. And yeah, so I had it on pre-order and I did really have a fun time reading it. It was interesting. This is like a YA romance between two boys at a school, and there's a lot of like horror aspects to this, and that's just what made it kind of like haunting and beautiful. So I did like it. It was like a 4-star or something like that, but I just don't think I'm gonna read it again. And I don't know if I want to keep it on my shelves. And then my next maybe, which I keep going back and forth about this book too. We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. I read A Tempest of Tea by her and I really liked this book. I had such a fun time with this book, and I had bought this before reading this one, but for some reason this is the book that's been on my shelves the longest. Like, this book has been on my shelves. I bought this in like one of my very first Barnes & Noble trips as an adult within the past like 3 or 4 years. And it's just been sitting on my shelf ever since, just because I got like swarmed with book recommendations, and I think it just got kind of like lost in the translation. This is one that I still think that I'm going to really enjoy. Like I still do think I'm gonna love this, but I just haven't gotten to it yet. So I hate like it just sitting on my shelf. But to be honest, now that I'm talking about it, I think I'm gonna keep it. And I think I'm going to try and read this soon so that we can just know if I'm gonna like it or not. And I did go through and I read a few lines in here, and what I did read was super intriguing. So I'm keeping this one actually. We've already talked myself into it. I'm keeping We Hunt the Flame for sure. And then it's also a duology, I think. And so if I do end up really liking that, what I'll probably do is get the hardback of that and then buy the hardback of the second one and just hold on to those two. Okay, so I'm trying to think what other ones we have on our shelf that I could get rid of, but I'm really not seeing any right now. There are just so many that I am excited to read and I do want to read, but I'm almost overwhelmed by the books that I have because I have a lot of fantasy romance and a lot of fantasy. I'm just going to be holding off and buying new books here, I think, for a little while, and just focusing on the ones that I do have so that I don't feel that way anymore. Yeah, let's see how many we're actually gonna get rid of. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Only 19 books. Do we need to get rid of one more so that we can have an even 20? Kind of feel like we do. What can I get rid of? Oh. Hey, honestly, I'm not really finding any other books that I want to get rid of at the moment. I have a couple that are maybes, so we'll just stick with the 19 books. Is that really 19? 1, 2, 3, 13, 14, 15. It is 19 books. Why does that bother me so much? These and these. And there's 2 more down there that I can't. These are our UNHAUL books. I'm excited to get rid of all these. Oh my God. I'm very excited to get rid of these because I feel like they're just sitting on my shelves making me anxious, and we cannot have that. So we're gonna get rid of these, whether I sell them, bring them to Half Price Books, donate them back to the free little libraries, or list them on Pango. They will be going to new homes, and I hope that their new owners love them just as much as I did or didn't. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little bonus video, and I will see you guys in the next one on Saturday. We've got a fun one coming up, and I hope you enjoy that one too. And I hope that you have a good rest of your week, and I will see you guys this weekend. Bye.